Hey, friends. This is Martine Williams, and I am obsessed with all things mompreneur life and helping you to remix your priorities, your habits, your mindsets, and yes, even your relationships so that you can build a successful business without losing yourself in the process. I'm also obsessed with the color turquoise and lyrics of the 80s and 90s, but that's beside the point. Girlfriend, you don't have to hustle 24/7, 365 and continue to sacrifice your health, your relationships, and your sanity to be a successful mompreneur. As a small town girl living in a lonely world to a six-figure mompreneur, I am here to teach you how. There is a better way, and this podcast is your one-stop shop for all of the how-tos, the encouragement, the life hacks, the success tips, and of course, a little side of tough love. This is the Mompreneur Life Remixed podcast. So let's do this. Hey, friends, and welcome back to the Mompreneur Life Remixed podcast. This is episode number 12, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one because I am celebrating 15 years at the time of this recording of being my own CEO. And it's really hard to believe that it's been 15 years. And the person that I was in September 29th of 2006 to the person I am today, September 29th, well, the releasing of this episode will be the 30th of 2021. Like, she's different. I mean, at her core, she's the same person, but the person I have become in the process as a mompreneur, I heard someone say the other day that being an entrepreneur is the biggest personal development journey you will ever go on. And I'm definitely living a proof of that. I mean, you think about my son, Lucas, who's 16, he was 1 when I started my journey. And you've heard me share a little bit about my story, but if you're new here, I'll kind of give you the Cliff Notes. They still have Cliff Notes, the Cliff Notes version of my story. But basically, back in 2006, in September, I was a small town girl living in a lonely world, and my husband had lots of hobbies, and I needed something for myself. I needed an outlet. I needed something that Martine could just be Martine and could have fun and could connect with other women. And I wasn't really looking for a business opportunity. I definitely wasn't looking to be a business owner or my own CEO or one day be able to lead thousands and thousands of women as I have over the last 15 years. Like, that was not what I was looking for. I didn't see leadership skills in my vocabulary or just in my life. But this journey that I have been on has been life-changing. It really has been life-changing. And I'm so thankful that 15 years ago, I took that leap of faith and I was able to look fear in the eye and just say, you know what do I have to lose? I'm miserable as a mom. I'm miserable as a wife. And I don't want to be that way. And you've heard me share, we all have a choice to make in those moments to be bitter or be better. And thankfully, I chose to be better. I chose to listen to the truth and love that my mentor shared with me at the time, who said, my husband's not wrong for having hobbies. You just need to find something to do. I listened, but I didn't just listen. I took action. And I'm here to say that it's an amazing journey. And I really wanted to dedicate this episode to sharing with you my top tips. And I'm going to break it down into 2 episodes. So today will be part 1, and then the next episode will be part 2. And I'm going to do it David Letterman style and start with number 10 and work our way down to a number 1. But one of the questions that people ask me constantly, whether it's a coaching client or a friend or someone that I'm leading on my team, it's always about, how do you do it all? And how have you been able to grow a successful business while being a mom and kind of being both and? And it really boils down to, you'll find what you're looking for. Just like back 15 years ago, I was looking for a way to make my marriage better. I was looking for a way to make better connections with women. It wasn't about the money at all, because honestly, I didn't believe you could make money in this industry unless you were just one of those super skilled leaders. And so you will find what you're looking for always. If you're looking for the way it'll work, you'll find the solution. If you're looking for the way it won't, you'll find the excuse and the back door, period. So I want to kind of start out with that. And then the second thing that before we kind of dive into the tips that I wanted to share with you is that mindset is more important than talent. That is probably one of my number one strengths is my mindset. I I wouldn't call myself like positive all the time. I mean, I have hard days, but my mindset and what I choose to focus on and where I allow my mind to go has made a huge difference in my success in this business as a business owner, as a mom, as a wife. Like I think on good things. I seek out positive things to feed my mindset with. So if you are thinking about, well, gosh, if I was just like, Martine and had her skill set, I could be at the success level that she's at in her business, or I could do all these great things. Or maybe you're comparing yourself to someone on social media. Check your mindset. Mindset is everything. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. What is your mindset right now? What is your mindset with everything that's going on in our world today? Holidays are getting ready to come up. Like, what's your mindset about it? Are you starting to feel anxious already about that? Do you feel like you're behind the 8 ball all the time? Check your mindset. Check your mindset. What are the mindsets of the people that you're working with, the people that you're hanging around? So I just wanted to start out with sharing those two things because I do believe that my solution-oriented mindset and that I am looking for the positive and I'm looking for the way that it's going to work is what has made me enjoy the success that I'm still having today, 15 years later. Now, does that mean that I haven't failed? No. Does that mean that I haven't wanted to quit? No. I'm going to shoot it to you straight here on this podcast. I'm going to share my ups and my downs. And again, if you are feeling that anxiousness, I want to encourage you to go back to last week's episode with Kara Snyder. She talks all about anxiety as a mompreneur. It's really, really fantastic. Okay, so let's dive into the top 10 tips that I have for you. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is don't be afraid to be the first one. I was one of the first in my area as a consultant with 31 Gifts. And, I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know about the company. I didn't know if it was a company I could trust. I didn't know if the products were going to fall apart. There were so many unknowns for me. And because I was one of the first, I could have easily missed opportunities, or I could have just not taken that jump, right? Not taken that leap of faith. And so don't be afraid to be the first one. And don't try and make it perfect or have all the answers. Just get started. There's so many dreams and income and opportunities left on the table because people just don't get started. They have all the what ifs going on in their mindsets. And believe me, I've had those. So I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to you and back to myself at the same time because I know business and I know life. It's a roller coaster, right? You have ups and downs all around, upside down moments. And in those upside down moments is where I'm going to have to remember to not make it perfect. Just do it messy. So whether it's a new business you want to start, or maybe a new idea for your business or a new way you want to do your business, don't be afraid to be the first one. And I guess I need to back up and say that this episode is going to be specific on business tips. Okay. So again, I was the lone nut that brought 31 to my area. I didn't know what I was doing. I probably looked ridiculous. Super shout out if you're listening and you were one of my first customers or hosts. Like, thank you so much for continuing to support my business after that first party because it was a hot mess express. But being the first also means that I could start a whole new movement. You could start a whole new movement. You can inspire others to build their dreams and to build their businesses and to provide and have flexibility in their life. So don't be afraid to be the first one in business, to try something new or to try a new business. Okay, tip number 9, get in and get to work. I just shared with you that I was one of the first in this area, but that doesn't mean that it was just because I got in at a good time, right? That I've had the success that I've enjoyed over these last 15 years. It's getting in and getting to work. That's what separates the wishers from the winners. When you show up, you go up. You show up for your business. You show up for yourself. You show up and do the things that you don't want to do, but you need to do to get to that next level, right? That's what separates the winners from the wishers. People would say, well, you got in at the right time. And there were a lot of things about being the first, right? I shared that with you that I had to build brand loyalty. I had to build trust with customers. And, when you're getting in and getting to work, you need to take 100% responsibility for your successes and the actions that you take and be consistent. Have a schedule. Know what those non-negotiables are that you must do each day in your business to build a business. Because we can be busy or we can be in business. You get to choose every single day. I get to choose every single day which one is it going to be. All right. There's so much more I could say about getting to work, but I think you get my point. Number 8, surround yourself with like-minded people and guard your mind fiercely. I can't talk about this one enough. Surround yourself with like-minded people and guard your mindset fiercely. That means if there's something on social media or something, a Facebook group that you're in or a community group that you're in that is just no longer serving you, it's starting to spiral downward with negativity, like disengage. Push that button, the eject button, just eject out of that environment because it's contagious. Just like laughter is contagious and positivity is contagious, so is negativity. And I guard my mindset so fiercely with who I choose to follow on social media, who I choose to spend my time with. And I want to surround myself with people, honestly, that are about 5 steps ahead of me because I want them to pull me up. I want someone who is, I look at someone, I think about the first consultant or first leader that I really aspired to be like. I saw not just what she had, but I saw how she ran her business. And I wanted to have that same system. I wanted to have those same skill sets. And so she didn't know that. She had, lots of women that looked up to her. And so I took the initiative to reach out to her and ask her if she would be willing to mentor me for a short time. And she said yes. Now, some may say no, maybe it's not a good time for them, but I want you to hear that it was my responsibility to seek out and surround myself with like-minded people. So think about who's in your circle. Who are the 5 people that you spend the most time with right now, professionally speaking? And maybe you're not spending time with anybody. Maybe because of the situation that we're in right now, you've really kind of isolated yourself. We were not intended to be alone. And you don't have to go this business alone either. You need people. We need each other on those days when you're in an upside down moment on the roller coaster. But it's more fun to celebrate those peak moments in your business when there's someone there to celebrate it with. So maybe you're just not surrounding yourself with anybody right now because of lots of different reasons. I want to encourage you to surround yourself with like-minded people. So get back into community with people. It's more fun. There's more accountability there. And I talked about that on our previous episode. Accountability, where I have found the most success in life and business is where I have the most accountability. So don't lose sight of that and don't fear accountability. It's there to help you. It's there to help you become the person you want to be or to build the business that you want to have. All right. Number 7, know your why. Because in business, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. That's Simon Sinek. Love him. If you've not read any of his books, you should. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. So your story, sharing your story about why you're a mompreneur, whether you're selling a physical product or a digital product, or you have your own little boutique online, whatever it is, your story is what's going to connect people to your product. It's what's going to connect people to you. And we know people do business with those they know, like, and trust. But if you don't even know what that is, how are you going to share the story? How are you going to share the story? So if you're kind of finding yourself in that place, I want you to pause. I want you to take some time and really think about why you are doing the business that you're doing. Why are you a mompreneur right now? And it changes. Again, for me in the beginning, it was because I needed something for myself because I was so miserable that my husband had hobbies and I didn't. I needed something that I could just be me, where I wasn't trying to, just be a stay-at-home mom. I knew I was called to more. Well, now that I understand the flexibility and I understand the opportunities and what my best friend in the business and accountability partner always talks about is choices. I have choices now. And so your why may change. So take some time to revisit that. If you're in direct sales right now, you're getting ready to go into the busiest season. You're in the busiest season that you're going to have all year. Why are you in business? Revisit that. Help your team. If you're a leader, help your team to revisit why you're in business. But this is not specific to direct selling. This is in any business. Reasons equal results. And people they kind of hook on to, right, your passion and your mission and the reasons why. When I share my story of being the bitter wife and how resentful I was of my husband, it instantly connects with even some of you probably that are listening for the first time. You instantly connect with that because you understand that. Maybe you are her, or maybe there's a part of the story that you connect to. But if you're not telling the story because number one, you don't know what the story is, you're kind of feeling like, I don't really know why I'm doing this anymore. I've just been doing it for 15 years. No, what is it? Write it down, figure it out, and then be willing to share it. Okay. The last one for today is number 6. Invest in yourself to grow and learn. Invest in yourself to grow and learn. And this could be through books. This could be through podcasts. This could be through coaching, hiring a one-to-one coach. In 2008, I realized that I had taken my business as far as I could on my own. Not really on my own, but without having someone specifically come beside me and walk the journey with me. And y'all met Sherry McAllister on a previous episode on one of my turquoise talks, but it was in 2008 that I knew I needed to ask for help. I knew that I needed someone to come alongside me and refine my skill set, to refine my mindset, to really give me that plan. And that's what a coach should do. That's what the investment is. The investment is in growth. The investment is in building whatever it is you're trying to build. So whether you are hiring a life coach or you're hiring a business coach, you have to invest in yourself to grow and learn. Again, there are a lot of free resources out there, but can we just be honest for a second? If it's free, how much skin do you have in the game? If it's free, because we've all done free workshops and free trainings and free webinars, and someone's given you a book, do you read it? Do you show up to the training? Do you actually implement on the things that you learned? Probably not. Probably not to the intensity you would if you had some skin in the game. So I really want you to think about, and it's not an expense, because to be perfectly honest with you, when I hired my coach and when I hired Sherry in 2008, I couldn't afford it. And that comes from a scarcity mindset. So going back to mindset, do you have a scarcity mindset that if you invest back in your own business, or you invest into a coach or into a conference or whatever that personal investment looks like for you, that you're not going to get a return on that? I want you to think about the commitment to the return. That's the difference, because it works if you work it. If you hire a coach and you do, and you're coachable, it's going to work for you. If you buy a treadmill and you get on the treadmill and you're consistent on the treadmill, it's going to work for you. I always laugh at all of this. And I guess I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but these are all things we invest in, right? A bike, whatever the latest and greatest exercise program is, latest and greatest nutrition program that's out there. And they all work if you work it, but we don't give it enough time. And we don't see it as an investment, or maybe we just didn't have enough skin in the game for us to get the results that we need. So think about where you're at in your business right now. How are you investing? How are you investing your time? How are you investing your resources? How are you investing your energy? And are you seeing the return on those? Because you're committed to actually doing the thing, right? Doing the work. Because again, you can buy a gym membership, you can buy the bike, you can buy the treadmill, you can invest in the coach, and not show up for the calls, not do what the coach has asked you to do. My coach has always said, you're one of the most coachable people I've ever had. She said, if I told you to stand on your head, that it would give you results in your business, you would have done it. And she's absolutely right, because I trusted her to take me to the next level. And I knew that I had gone as far as I could on my own. So maybe you're there right now in your business and you're looking at the fall season coming upon you. And this is the busiest time of year for, really all entrepreneurs, any business. This is the busiest time of the year. So you're thinking about what you want, why you want it, but maybe you need some help. Maybe it's time for you to invest, and you're going to need to invest before you think you're ready or before you think you can afford it. Every single time. But the transformation is in the transaction. Again, the transformation is in the transaction. You get invited to a free training. What's the transformation that's going to happen? Because you're probably not going to show up. But if you're investing, don't look at it as an expense. If you're investing back into the business, investing in your personal growth, investing in your professional growth, and there's some skin in the game, you're going to show up for it and you're going to get better results. So let me review my top 5 for now, and then we're going to do part 2 on our next episode. Number 10 was, don't be afraid to be the first. Don't be afraid to try it first. Don't be afraid to do the thing first, and just do it messy. Don't be a perfectionist about it. Don't be afraid to be the first. Because again, remember, we win or we learn. Number 9 was get to work. Once you decide that you're going to be the first one, or you decide on that business idea, or you decide on that investment, maybe get to work. Get to work. It works if you work it. Number 8, surround yourself with like-minded people and guard your mind fiercely. Y'all, right now, I'm telling you, there is so much negativity out there that can just consume you. There is so much sadness that can just consume you. But we get to choose, right? They say you can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. Quit trying to change the person that you're around that's negative and go be with someone else. Guard your mind fiercely. Number 7 was know your why. Again, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And every time you tell your story, you're telling yourself the story again, and you're reminding yourself of why you're coming to your desk, why you're doing the things that you don't really want to do, but you need to do to grow your business. And that's everyone. I know you may think, well, Martine must love to do all the things that she does in her business. There are definitely things that I do not love doing in my business, but it's business. And there are things that have to get done. And you either have a choice of doing it or delegating it out. And we're going to talk about that on our next episode. So take some time and know your why. And the last one for today is invest in yourself to grow and learn. Books, podcasts, events, live events, virtual events, coaches, mentorships, masterminds, whatever you feel like you need. And if you have questions about that, because there is a difference in a mastermind, group coaching, and one-to-one coaching. And sometimes you may invest in something like, oh, because I did this. Oh, I thought I was ready for that, but I really just needed this. Just send me a DM on Instagram. I'd be happy to talk you kind of through that process. But you have to invest in yourself to grow and learn. And you'll always have to invest before you think you're ready and before you think you can afford it. So, all right, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. I look forward to sharing part 2 with you on our next episode. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope this was helpful. And I am always believing in you. Talk to you soon. Well, that's a wrap, friends, for this week's episode of the Mompreneur Life Remixed podcast. Thank you so much for listening and for following the show. It means so much to me. And listen, friend, sharing is caring. So if you loved this episode and thought of some fellow mompreneurs who could benefit, send them the link. Share this episode or take a screenshot and head on over to Instagram and share and tag me at Martine31Williams. We are connected on Instagram, right? It's where you will get all the fun behind the scenes of my life and business as a mompreneur. Until next time, know that I am believing in you always.